Welcome to CST release question number 3 for Algebra 2. It says, for a wedding, Sharita bought several dozen roses and several dozen carnations. The roses cost $15 per dozen. I'm going to underline some stuff as I go along here. That sounds pretty important to me. And the carnations cost, so this is roses cost that much, the carnations cost $8 per dozen. So a little bit less, quite a bit less actually. And Sharita bought a total of 17 dozen flowers and paid a total. So we got a total of that many flowers, paid a total of 192. How many roses did she buy? And so we don't need to multiply stuff by 12. Our answer will be in dozens, but we do need to pick out some variables to solve this problem. So let's decide on some good variables for roses. I'd go with R. R sounds good for roses. So let's say R equals the number of dozens of roses. And let's go with C for carnations. So C will be the number of dozens of carnations. So this to me looks like a problem now that I have this set up where I can set up two equations and solve for the variables with two equations, two unknown variables. I can use either something like process of elimination, the linear combination method, or substitution method. Process of elimination could be helpful, but not what I want to do yet. Looks like I can't really eliminate any of these answers. I don't think any of these are obviously wrong, just looking at the information right now. So from here, let's see what equations we can set up. So R is dozens of roses, and it says they're $15 per dozen. The carnations are $8 per dozen, and a total of 17 dozen flowers. So we know that whatever R is, hello Belle, welcome to school. So R plus C, whatever that is, has to be, this is dozens of roses plus dozens of carnations, would have to equal 17, because there's that many dozen flowers that you bought. And then you've got a total of $192. I'm actually going to move this. I didn't want to move that. I want to move this. Let's see if I can grab that and move that over here. Yeah, that'll be better. Okay, so I've got that as one equation. And I know for each dozen roses it's 15, so I'm going to have 15 times R. That would be the price of the roses. However many dozen roses I buy times 15. And then 8 times C would be the price of the carnations. All that together is supposed to equal 192. Now from here you could use substitution. You could subtract R or subtract C from both sides and then plug it in there. But I think there's an easier way to do it on this one. So I'm going to show you what I think is the easier way. This one I'm not going to change at all, so I'm just going to write that up here that I'm not changing this. No change to this one. I'm trying to use linear combination here to get one of the variables to drop out. And what looks to me to be easiest, I could multiply everything by negative 15, then the R's would cancel. I could also multiply everything by negative 8, and the C's would cancel. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to multiply everything times negative 8. So I have to change everything in the same way in the equation if I'm going to keep it a true equation. So I'd have negative 8R minus 8C. And then 17 times 8. We can't use calculators on something like the CST, so let's work that out up here. We've got 7 times 8. That'd be 56. And you'd have this as 8. We got 136 right there. And so this would be 136, but negative, because I'm multiplying everything by a negative 8. And then we have 15R minus, it's kind of a ugly looking 5 right there. Let's try that again. Minus 8C, or plus 8C. I'm just keeping this the same. I didn't change this. So I'm just rewriting that equation right here. That would equal 192. Now from there, the C's are going to cancel. Beautiful. Now we just have one variable to solve for. That's what we wanted all along. So 192 minus 136. I know if I added 50 to this, I'd have 186, so another 6 would get me there. That would be 56 right there then. So I can divide both parts by 7. And notice it kind of worked out nicely for me. I wasn't really thinking about doing this as I was doing the problem here, but it did ask for how many roses did she buy. If I would have solved for C first or gotten rid of the R's, I would have had to take my answer, plug it back in. Not that hard, but plug it back in and solve for R then. But I decided to solve for R. very, very helpful or very useful that I did that, because I'm done now. I have R is 8, but 8 what? R stands for the number of dozens of roses that Sharita bought. So we have 8 dozen roses. That matches up clearly with choice C. So final answer for number 3, choice C it is.